think that's one of the strongest indications we've had in a while. Before we get started, are there any questions? Okay. If there's anybody here that is in the Columbia area and not familiar with the Columbia Tea Party, we have membership applications over here, and probably most of the people in here are members, so just talk with somebody. Hopefully you'll come out and join us. We'd love to have you here. We're also going to be at the fair in a couple of weeks. We'd love for you to drop by our booth and talk with us. I really appreciate Alan and the work that he has done. Many of you know Alan actually founded the Columbia Tea Party and was our chair up until, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And Alan, let me bring you up now to introduce Newt.
As you know, Columbia Tea Party, they don't endorse candidates. And I kind of got a little bit frustrated when I started seeing a couple of candidates being propped up by the establishment and by mainstream media and overlooking all these other candidates. And what irritated me even more was how they were tying them to the Tea Party. And I went into the mid-forum. I was actually leaning toward another candidate. And I came out of that forum blown away. And all I'm asking for you, don't take my word for it. Watch the debates. Watch who's got grasp of the issues and who's coming out with common sense solutions that, in my opinion, are Tea Party oriented.
Right.
So with that being said, that's the reason why I endorsed I resigned as chairman of the Columbia Tea Party so I could endorse Newt Gingrich. Ladies and gentlemen, Newt Gingrich.
Melissa and I are delighted to be here. Let me say, I thought what we might do is we might introduce the movie. I want to put it in context for a second. And then after the movie, we'll be here to take questions and chat with you and also to sign books and things. But I think you'll have a richer sense of what we're trying to do after the movie. Before I introduce Callista, I want to say something to frame how we're doing this. We decided that American exceptionalism was under such enormous threat from anti-religious judges, from left-wing bureaucrats, and from a radical president who on at least 4 occasions skipped the words endowed by our Creator. 2 of which I think he actually did on the teleprompter, and just couldn't bring himself to say it. And so we took a 3-stage effort to bring the country American exceptionalism. One is a book I did, which is over here, which is called A Nation Like No Other, because we are, and you'll see why in this movie. The second, which I'm really proud of, and after the movie you'll get to meet Ellis, Callista developed a book for 4 to 8-year-olds called Sweet Land of Liberty, which is designed to introduce young Americans to the America that we love, since we know all too often schools don't do it anymore. And she invented a character named Ellis the Elephant, who takes young children through American history. And we actually have Ellis is going to visit with us in a few minutes. Don't be alarmed. If an elephant shows up right after the movie, do not be shocked. And then third, we made this movie. And I think as you see these 3, you sort of also understand why I'm very different as a candidate. Because I think our core problems are cultural. And as the left has eroded and the elites have eroded our culture, then everything else has also gotten weaker and weaker. And in many ways, it goes back to the 1963 school prayer decision. It goes back to a whole range of decisions which undermine the very nature of America as a country endowed by our Creator, and a country which expected to work ethic, which is why one of my proposals is that we tie all unemployment compensation to training programs. So if you, in fact, need help, we'll give you help, but nobody gets money for doing nothing. I wanted to see the movie in that sense in context, and I'll answer questions and chat with you immediately afterwards. Let me now introduce Callista, who's going to introduce this, and she's the president and CEO of Gingrich Productions, and I can tell you she does vastly more work on this than I do. I'm what is called talent. I show up and I do my part, but she worries about the editing and the scripts and all these things. I'm very proud of the work she's done, so you're in charge.
to our screening of A City Upon a Hill. Newt and I would like to thank Alan Olson and the Columbia Tea Party for the opportunity to be with you here this evening. We'd also like to thank our producer, David Bossi, our director, Kevin Knobloch, and the entire team at Citizens United Productions with whom we made this film. A City Upon a Hill explores the concept of American exceptionalism from its origin to present day. Puritan John Winthrop first captured the idea of an exceptional nation in 1630 when he encouraged settlers headed to the New World to create a community, or as he called it, a city upon a hill, to serve as a model for the rest of the world. Our founding fathers had this same idea in mind when they created America's founding documents, defined by the ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. At no other time in history had a nation declared that its citizens were endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, rights that no king or government could take away. This truth, that our rights come from God, has provided Americans with boundless freedom and opportunity to realize great achievement. Yet today, many misunderstand why America is an exceptional nation, often claiming that we're no different from other countries. But American exceptionalism is not a matter of arrogance. It's a recognition that we are a unique nation based on individual liberty, dignity, and personal responsibility. If we forget this, we will be in danger of surrendering our rights as individuals, the antithesis of what our founding fathers envisioned for America. As citizens, we must have the courage to ensure that America remains an exceptional nation, a challenge that is the essence of the American creed. We hope you will enjoy A City Upon a Hill and share its message. Thank you, and God bless.